Thưa quý vị, Thiếu tá Elizabeth Pham, nữ phi công gốc Việt lái 9 đấu cơ F-18 cho Thủy quân lục chiến Hoa Kỳ vừa được thăng cấp lên trung tá. Sáng thứ Bảy 13 tháng 4 vừa qua, trên Viện Bảo tàng Hàng không mẫu hạm USS Midway tại San Diego, buổi lễ gắn lon cho tân trung tá Elizabeth Pham đã được tổ chức trọng thể. Phi công Elizabeth Pham sinh ra tại thành phố Seattle. Lúc nhỏ, theo học bậc tiểu học tại Holy Family Linda Vista, San Diego. Sau đó học trung học tại Sarah High và cũng tại đây, cô Elizabeth Pham gia nhập chương trình thiếu sinh quân ROTC. Phi công Elizabeth Pham tốt nghiệp Đại học University of San Diego. Cô gia nhập quân ngũ và được huấn luyện phi hành tại Florida. Ra trường với cấp bậc thiếu úy, sau đó tiếp tục được huấn luyện ở cấp cao hơn tại tiểu bang Mississippi. Cô Elizabeth Pham tốt nghiệp thủ khoa vì cô đã đáp xuống chiến hạm Ronald Reagan chính xác và dội bom đúng vị trí nhất. Cô Elizabeth Pham đánh bại tất cả các nam phi công và nhờ vậy đích thân Đại tướng chỉ huy trưởng trao bằng khen và thăng cấp trung úy, đồng thời được chọn làm nữ phi công đầu tiên của Thủy quân lục chiến điều khiển phản lực cơ siêu thanh F-18 vào năm 2003. Cô Elizabeth Pham từng được điều sang chiến đấu ở Iraq và là thành viên của phi đội chiến đấu cơ F-18, toàn là phi công nữ, bay tổng cộng hơn 130 phi vụ. Hiện tại, cô Elizabeth Pham đang đóng quân tại San Diego, California. Chúng ta hãy cùng chúc mừng cho Trung tá Elizabeth Pham. Niềm vui của cộng đồng Việt Nam San Diego.
We are so thankful to stand on this historic vessel on the brink of her 44th anniversary of facilitating these privileges to Vietnamese during Operation Frequent Wind. And we're so thankful to celebrate the representation of the fruits of her labor in Elizabeth Pham. God bless Elizabeth Pham as she puts on now Lieutenant Colonel of the United States Marine Corps to lead, mentor, train, and fight, to reach higher, to push further courage and commitment, patriotism and pride of who we are and what we do as a military force and as a nation. God bless the illustrious and ever victorious United States Marine Corps.
My name is John Tyson, and I'm a retired Marine who was most fortunate to be the senior naval science instructor at Sarah High School right here in San Diego while Liz was attending. I've been asked to serve as your narrator for this momentous occasion. Our initial meeting, Cadet Pham's sophomore year at high school, did not go well. At the time, all discipline seems a cause not for joy but for pain. Yet later, it brings the peaceful fruit of righteousness to those who were trained by it. That's from Hebrews chapter 12, verse 11. How wanted to be a Marine, Liz. I looked her up close and personal, went right in her face, and I said, "You're not tough enough." I can only imagine what she was thinking, what was going through her mind. Something like, hey, I'm just as God made me. I can do anything I set my mind to celebrate such achievements. However, through this recognition, we're reminded of the price to be paid, what many believed was impossible. Today is about thanking the family members for making so many sacrifices. True success is a collaborative effort and is rarely achieved alone.
She just does a great job at everything. So I wanted to share a few anecdotes from work. One, we started to say, you've been fammed. So what does that mean? So when Liz came aboard, she was just aggressive at everything she did. If there was a gap, she found a way to fix it. Oftentimes on staffs, there's a lot of jobs that have to get done, and sometimes they're new to us. The terms we like to share, it's an endearing one, it's just you've been fammed. And some other Marines, when she's come through and made these changes, again, on her own volition, she just takes the initiative. They started to call it a FAM NATO. She did something else too that was great. She was the top hook. What the top hook is for carrier aviation, this is the Landing Signals Officer award for the best overall trend or the best average in deployments. Since she was early on in the jets, for the females in the Marine Corps, she was with the first all-female section in combat. So there's another first. And since she was one of the early women, I'm sure some of the guys were poking fun at her, but they gave her the call sign Unmanned Aircraft, UMA, right? So these are things she had to kind of tolerate from us guys, but she just kept on fighting through it, and it was great to see her career grow. She went and did some other billets in CD9, that's Combat Development Integration. So you see she goes to staff work, and then she goes back to flying. She got some good twin engine time over in the C-12 over in Japan. And then she went and got a master's degree. And the old system, people used to volunteer for those, but in our new system in the Marine Corps, they just take the top third of Marine Corps officers and they send them off to schools for advancement to help them with their future because they see this potential. That term, you've been fan. So another thing she did, since she's one of the early female F-18 Marine Corps pilots, and of course one of the first Vietnamese pilots to land on a carrier, right? So here we are today on the Midway. What's unique about April and why she chose this date? Because of Operation Frequent. There's one story I'd like to share. She shared with some other folks, and I like it. With the jets, I feel pinned behind this podium. And in a younger day, I was Mad Dog. So I'd like to come out and just pump you up, but I don't know if you can hear me, so I'll just stay here because I think it's important you hear the story. In 2006, this was early on in her career, she was deployed over in Iraq, and she was launching on her third mission in combat. Still had some apprehension and nervousness, she shares. And they were called by the DASC, which is a great organization, I just like to say. So that's the fighting hyphen. They bring the air and ground together. That story's for another day. So the DASC calls up. She checks in with Blacklist. Blacklist says, hey, we've got troops in contact. We need some help. There's some Harriers on station. So one problem with the Harriers is they're short on station time, right? So they're a smaller plane. They can go get the job done, but they can't hang around. So they were doing some gun runs near Habbaniyah, and they just weren't getting the job done. So there's a cache of weapons, white vehicles with mortar rounds and what the insurgents were using, to kill our folks. They're like, oh my gosh, this is a first. So here she is again, and she's like, I've got to do this right. Everything has to work. All my training, all that work, up to this point. So she goes in on target, she arms the laser MAV, and she drops her ordnance, and the enemy just got fammed. So she took out the target, which was pretty admirable under the conditions. So, the Harriers come in, they don't get it done. The COC is like, wait, is that a female pilot? And she checks off station. And in the COC, today is about her potential. So we talked about family and the support you've had. But everything she does, whether it's family, I don't know what it's like to be fammed at home, but I don't want to do chores for her. So everything she does is top notch, just gold plated. And now the challenge for her, she gets promoted and goes after this potential of leading more. She has to create the next Liz. So she's going to have to step back. And I talk to her about this every day. So I'm using the opportunity with a microphone so everyone hears it. She's going to have to step back and help those other people develop and teach them what a FAM NATO is. Like, no, here's what it takes. You got to stay longer. You got to give your sacrifice to service over self and make sure you balance that with family. It's a tough challenge. But I think she's got a great story to share with everybody. So today's about Liz, the Midway, frequent wind. There's so much involved today. So thank you, Liz, and to the family for letting me be a part of it. And I wish I could be out there amongst you shouting, but I was advised this is just the way it is, and with the jets flying over. So that's all I've got. So I'll turn over the narrator, and we'll bring her up, and we'll get this promotion done. And these are prescription, but I'll take them off so to make sure we're formal here.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please stand for the reading of the promotion order and remain standing for the entire promotion ceremony. To all who shall see these presents, greeting. Know ye that reposing special trust and confidence in the patriotism, valor, fidelity, and abilities of Elizabeth Pham, I do by and with the consent of the Senate appoint this officer a lieutenant colonel in the United States Marine Corps. to rank as such from the first day of March 2019. This officer will therefore carefully and diligently discharge the duties of the office to which appointed, by doing and performing all manner of things thereunto belonging. And I do strictly charge and require those officers and other personnel of lesser rank to render such obedience as is due an officer of this grade and position. And this officer is to observe and follow orders and directions from time to time as may be given by the President of the United States of America or other senior officers acting in accordance with the laws of the United States of America. This commission is to continue in force during the pleasure of the President of the United States of America under provisions of those public laws relating to officers of the armed forces of the United States of America and the component thereof in which this appointment is made. Done at the City of Washington this 23rd day of January in the year of our Lord 2019, and of the independence of the United States of America, the 243rd, by the President Robert B. Neller, Commandant of the Marine Corps, Richard V. Spencer, Secretary of the Navy.
Right, the family come up to do the pinning, please.
Katharina will be escorted to the stage to remove her gold oak leaves and replace them with silver oak leaves, the designated rank of Lieutenant Colonel. Her family was requested to perform this privilege as an honor to recognize the sacrifices they made to support Elizabeth throughout her career and the continual support she will need as she assumes the new responsibilities and faces the many challenges ahead. We are using my old devices, as a matter of fact, if we can find them, that served me well for many years through tours of duty at the Marine Corps Recruit Depot right here in San Diego, 1st Marine Division at Camp Pendleton, and at the Mountain Warfare Training Center in Bridgeport, California, until my retirement. The oath of office dates back to the founding of our country. In 1775, enlistees of the Continental Forces were required to recite the Declaration of Loyalty of voluntary enlistment in order to fight in the Revolutionary War. This declaration is only mandatory at the enlistment or commission upon initial entry into service. However, unique to the Marine Corps, we've continued this military tradition to reaffirm the oath of office Constitution of the United States.
Ladies and gentlemen, everyone's here today, so she's got a few things to say, but again, just awesome to be here. And today we're celebrating Lieutenant Colonel Pham.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have a few words to say, so if you could please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for the warm welcome I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to all of you today. Colonel Lewis, Dr. Lewis, Colonel Folsom, Colonel Fredrickson, distinguished visitors, veterans of foreign wars, veterans of the Vietnam War, former Republic of South Vietnam military forces, Le Quân Việt Nam Cộng Hòa, my fellow U.S. Marines and sailors, my amazing family, and my dear friends. Thank you so much for being here to share this special day aboard the USS Midway. I know so many have come so far, and my family and I are truly humbled. I wish I could describe fully the incredible feelings of gratitude, humility, patriotism, esprit de corps, and love that are just absolutely consuming me at this moment. But today's occasion cannot be possible without all of you believing in me, motivating me, challenging me, sir, and taking care of me, and quite honestly, taking a chance on me, sir. But first, I'd like to thank my amazing family. They've traveled throughout the globe not only to witness this occasion, but also to help host this celebration with us. First, to my dad. You've been the foundation of our family, and you've given all of us your steadfast courage and strength, Dad. You have taught us to care for others, and you have taught me the importance of duty and sacrifice. And you've always been the leader of our family, and you'll always be my first hero. Thank you, Dad. To my mom. Oh, I'm getting everybody today. So to my mom, you are the greatest example of strength and perseverance for me. You taught me how to fight for what I believe in and always be the best advocate for those that we love most. You always drove me to do my best, even doing math problems at 1 o'clock in the morning the Vietnamese way, which is very difficult. But I do my best, and you always said that, to do your best and to never give up and to always strive to be number one no matter what. And I thank you very much, Mom, for everything. To my stepmother, Govan, and my stepfather, Rob, thank you for taking care of our homes. Thank you for making all the sacrifices necessary in putting the needs of the family before your own. Dad, Rob, you've always been steadfast in your love and loyalty to the family, and you've always been there to provide guidance and advice when I needed it most. And thank you both for everything. To my husband, Alexander, my husband cannot make it in person today because he's at home. Hopefully somebody's FaceTiming this or recording this because he's taking care of our youngest daughter due to her severe medical condition. I just want to let you know that Alex, he's a hero in his own right. He's a man of integrity, steadfast commitment, loyalty, compassion, and he is the ultimate fighter for our children. Oh, okay, thank you. She's not trying to climb into one of these planes here and take it off. Katarina, you taught us how to have faith as you've grown, and you've had to overcome so much adversity early on in your life, my young daughter. But so far you've grown to be so strong. My sister Tram, her husband Lauren, her beautiful children, Isabella and Liam, flew all the way out from Sitka, Alaska to be here. My brother Andrew and his wife Linda and their son Obadiah, Obi, flew all the way up from D.C., Washington, D.C. My brother Kevin, who's here, he's my local supporter. He's also here. My sister Catherine and my youngest brother Brian, they both came out from gratitude to all of you today. Colonel Lewis, Dr. Lewis, Colonel Folsom, Colonel Fredrickson, distinguished visitors, veterans of foreign wars, veterans of the Vietnam War, former Republic of South Vietnam military forces, Le Quân Việt Nam Cộng Hòa, my fellow U.S. Marines and sailors, my amazing family, and my dear friends. Thank you so much for being here to share this special day aboard the USS Midway. I know so many have come so far, and my family and I are truly humbled. I wish I could describe fully the incredible feelings of gratitude, humility, patriotism, esprit de corps, and love that are just absolutely consuming me at this moment. But today's occasion cannot be possible without all of you believing in me, motivating me, challenging me, sir, and taking care of me, and quite honestly, taking a chance on me, sir. But first, I would like to thank my amazing family. They've traveled throughout the globe not only to witness this occasion, but also to help host this celebration with us. First, to my dad. You've been the foundation of our family, and you've given all of us your steadfast courage and strength, Dad. You have taught us to care for others, and you have taught me the importance of duty and sacrifice. And you've always been the leader of our family, and you'll always be my first hero. Thank you, Dad. To my mom. Oh, I'm getting everybody today. So to my mom, you are the greatest example of strength and perseverance for me. You taught me how to fight for what I believe in and always be the best advocate for those that we love most. You always drove me to do my best, even doing math problems at 1 o'clock in the morning the Vietnamese way, which is very difficult. But I do my best, and you always said that, to do your best and to never give up and to always strive to be number one no matter what. And I thank you very much, Mom, for everything. To my stepmother, Govan, and my stepfather, Rob, thank you for taking care of our homes. Thank you for making all the sacrifices necessary and putting the needs of the family before your own. Dad, Rob, you've always been steadfast in your love and loyalty to the family, and you've always been there to provide guidance and advice when I needed it most. And thank you both for everything. To my husband, Alexander. My husband cannot make it in person today because he's at home. Hopefully somebody's FaceTiming this or recording this because he's taking care of our youngest daughter due to her severe medical condition. I just want to let you know that Alex, he's a hero in his own right. He's a man of integrity, steadfast commitment, loyalty, compassion, and he is the ultimate fighter for our children. He has made so many sacrifices, including his own career, to put our children and our home life above everything else, so that I could excel in my career, and I would not be standing here today without him. He is my ultimate hero. To my children, it's on record now, it's on record. To my children, Conrad, Katharina, and Sabina, I love you children so much, and thank you for supporting Mom at work and supporting Mom in the Marine Corps. Conrad, you've taught us how to have hope. Mom and Dad have so many dreams and hopes for you, and we know that you're always going to strive to accomplish these in the future. Katharina. Where's Katharina? Oh, okay, thank you. Whew, just making sure she's not trying to climb into one of these planes here to take off. Katharina, you taught us how to have faith as you've grown, and you've had to overcome so much adversity early on in your life, my young daughter. But so far, you've grown to be so strong and beautiful, and Mommy's so proud of you. And Sabina, you taught us how to love unconditionally and to cherish life every day, and I'm so proud of all three of you, and I'm so blessed that God has chosen me to be your mom. And my siblings, yes, all of them are here today, and I am third out of 7. So all 6 of my siblings and their families are here. My sister Max and her daughter McKenna flew out from Olympia, Washington. My sister Tram, her husband Lauren, her beautiful children Isabella and Liam flew all the way out from Sitka, Alaska to be here. My brother Andrew and his wife Yolanda and their son Obadiah, Obi, flew all the way up from D.C., Washington, D.C. My brother Kevin, who's here, he's my local supporter. He's also here. My sister Catherine and my youngest brother Brian, they both came out from Seattle. You have always been there for us and me and my family. You've sent us care packages during deployments in Iraq, and I think my sister sent me a care package every single week for 1.5 years. You've always been there to commemorate every major milestone in my life, beginning with my commission as a 2nd lieutenant, when I pinned on my first set of wings at flight school in Meridian, Mississippi, our wedding, my surprise birthday last year, and of course today. My siblings and I share a very special bond, and I stand before you today as one of the luckiest people in the world because I have been blessed by having brothers and sisters who would do anything for each other. They have always been the ones I lean on when times are tough. And thank you so much for supporting me and my family and helping me host today's event. To my military family, Colonel Lewis, sir, thank you for your kind words. Thank you for letting everybody know what being fammed means. Thank you for being my promoting officer and honoring me and my family and hosting this ceremony today. And thank you for your trust and confidence in me, sir. as a leader and as a Marine, and allowing me the leniency to make decisions based off of your guidance and your leadership. You truly care about your Marines and their families, and I'm extremely grateful to work for you and to earn your mentorship. Colonel Fredrickson, sir, I am truly grateful and humbled. Thank you for your support, your guidance, and your motivation to push through any adversity. I'm extremely fortunate to work with you and your leaders, and I wish you the best of luck as you command the 11th Marine Expeditionary Unit in the Pacific and the Middle East this year, sir. To Colonel Folsom and the other colonels that aren't here, Colonel Morris, Colonel McGowan, Colonel Alonzo, Colonel Walker, Colonel Tipton. Ladies and gentlemen, you've all showed so much trust and faith in me, which was a constant energy boost that kept me going at the MEF. And I know with this promotion comes a tremendous responsibility, and I thank the leadership at the MEF for giving me the opportunity to continue to serve this great Marine Corps. To my fellow colleagues, to the Marines and sailors here today, who have walked along with me on this long and perilous journey, and I'm fortunate to serve with you and would like to convey my deep gratefulness, as it has been my pleasure and privilege to fight alongside you both in combat and fight alongside you in garrison. Lieutenant Colonel Dave Denial, Major Tara Denial, Major Edward Barrett, Major Rob Stork, Chief Juan, his rank with you, and wearing the same silver oak leaves that I found so intimidating and so in awe of over 28 years ago. When I wear this insignia, not only will I be reminded of my fond introduction to Marine Corps discipline, which will be a story I have to share with you all later, but I am also reminded of the legacy of your generation and of your service in the Vietnam War that enabled and contributed to my family and the many families in this audience to come to the United States. 44 years ago, they were in search of freedom, opportunities, and the American dream, and you helped make that come true, sir. April 1975. 44 years ago this month began the collapse and fall of Saigon and the largest air evacuation in history, totaling over 50,000 troops over the month, to include U.S. service members, Department of State officials, coalition forces, and South Vietnamese military and civilian refugees, the majority of which on U.S. aircraft. 44 years ago this month changed my family's life and the lives of many veterans here in the audience today. During the last 2 days of April 1975, President Ford ordered the final aerial evacuation of Saigon by helicopter. It was called Operation Frequent Wind. In that 2-day window, U.S. forces flew over 2,000 sorties and extracted over 7,800 evacuees from the defense attaché and U.S. Embassy to aircraft carriers under 7th Fleet, namely Task Force 76. Over 17 U.S. Navy ships were part of the evacuation efforts, to include 4 aircraft carriers, 14 amphibious L-class ships, military Sea Lift Command vessels, and various destroyers and other ships. And you may recognize one of those aircraft carriers today as in the USS Midway. The Midway alone received over 1,400 evacuees in a 19-hour period. And of note, during the evacuation, using a small observation plane, a South Vietnamese Air Force pilot by the name of Major Boang Ly landed safely, along with 5 of his family members, aboard this USS Midway, and he was the first Vietnamese pilot. Oh, thanks, Mom. It's the wind. I swear it's the wind. And he was the first Vietnamese pilot to ever land on an aircraft carrier, and it's this carrier. By the war's end, over 128,000 Vietnamese evacuees would flee the country, and Operation Frequent Wind ended 20 years of U.S. involvement in Vietnam. Many of the refugees and evacuees were then shipped to locations in the Philippines and in Guam and in Wake as they awaited their new fate. My family was in Guam until Operation New Arrivals began, and my family flew on a military aircraft or a MAC flight to Camp Pendleton, California, where for the first time the Marines, a 1st Marine Expeditionary Unit and 1st Marine Expeditionary Force, welcomed my family to the United States of America. So here we are 44 years later, as we look back at what the Navy and the Marine Corps did for my family and to a lot of the audience and families that we have today. And I look back at the opportunities that I had and I was privileged to have during my varied career to include being an F-18 pilot, landing on aircraft carriers, and now currently stationed at Camp Pendleton, California, where my family first came. And I cannot imagine a career more honorable than that which serves this great country, especially as a United States Marine. Thank you, and Semper Fidelis.
Đây là một điều rất vinh dự cho cháu và gia đình của cháu và của thủy quân lục chiến. Sau lễ gan lon, xin mời quý vị vui hưởng bánh bông lan và nước uống. Đồng thời quý vị có thể đi tham quan USS Midway. Xin cảm tạ quý vị.
As a show of respect, gratitude, and appreciation, flowers and gifts will now be presented to Lieutenant Colonel Pham's family, her parents, siblings, and children.
Purple good? Sure. There's also a green one. Did you get mine? Pull that one. That's right. And then, sorry, Dad. Sorry, Dad. Did you get this one? Oh, I get the one. Yeah, and then my two brothers. They all got the
This concludes today's ceremony. We invite you to join us for cake and light refreshments. You're also invited to tour and partake in the grand history of the Midway at your leisure. On behalf of the Marines and sailors of the 1st Marine Expeditionary Force, the future Operations Officer Colonel Lewis, and the family of Lieutenant Colonel Pham, thank you for attending. At this time, we request that family members, relatives, and ceremony participants make their way to the front for, naturally, another photo. I don't know if anybody was keeping track, but we didn't have a single flight into Limburg, if it's still called Limburg. No interruptions. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Hi, tôi là Đặng Hữu Thạnh ở San Diego và bà xã tôi là Ngô Kim Ngọc. Hôm nay chúng tôi được hân hạnh đến dự lễ thăng chức của cô Elizabeth Pham trong cộng đồng Việt Nam. Đây là một người phụ nữ Việt Nam đầu tiên được lên chức này và bay chiếc phản lực cơ F-18. Chúng tôi rất là hãnh diện và rất là muốn tới đây để mà chia sẻ sự hãnh diện và chúc mừng gia đình và cô Elizabeth Pham.
Tôi là bác sĩ Hoàng Minh, thân phụ của cháu Elizabeth Pham. Hôm nay tôi từ Ruffner St xuống hôm nay để mừng đứa cháu ngày thăng cấp lên trung tá của không quân Mỹ. Tôi rất là vui mừng và hãnh diện cho cháu trong cái cộng đồng của Việt Nam này, và chúng tôi chúc cho cháu rất là thành công trong tương lai. Cảm ơn.
Trước tiên tôi tự giới thiệu tôi là Hải quân Trung úy Nguyễn Ngọc Bạch, tốt nghiệp trường OCS ở Hoa Kỳ năm 1970. Tôi xin có vài lời về buổi lễ ngày hôm nay. Trước tiên là tôi là một người sĩ quan hải quân, cựu sĩ quan hải quân. Tôi rất ngưỡng mộ cô Elizabeth Pham vì lý do là cô ấy là một người phụ nữ mà đã làm pilot cho quân chiến Hoa Kỳ. Ngày hôm nay cô ấy được thăng trung tá, do đó tôi rất ngưỡng mộ cô ấy. Tôi đến để thăm buổi lễ ngày hôm nay.
Okay, it's absolutely phenomenal to be out here for Major Pham's promotion to Lieutenant Colonel. It's a very, very special day, and I know it's a very, very special day in the history of Vietnam, so it's going to be extra, extra special. We have a beautiful day out here, and we're really excited about the ceremony today. Thank you.